Greetings and welcome back to some more F1 single player career mode, and today we are getting suited and booted for round 16. It is the Italian Grand Prix, and that can only mean one thing: we are going fast because we're heading to the Temple of Speed. Of course, I'm talking about the Monza circuit, an absolute classic on the Formula One calendar, and it is playing host to the 16th Grand Prix for our season here in this single player career mode. In terms of weather for this race, it's a little bit more spicy this time, actually, because unlike the last two races where we started in the dry and then ended with a last couple of laps where it got wet, we're actually starting in the wet this time, and then it's going to dry up as the race progresses. So something to look forward to there. And speaking of the last two races, in case you haven't seen them, I would highly suggest go watch them because they were absolute cracking races. But spoiler alert if you haven't watched them already. But once again, we scored some decent points in Netherlands. We had an unfortunate midway part of the race where we actually ended up damaging our front wing by driving into the back of, if I remember correctly, it was Franco Colapinto in the mid part of the race. And we then went on to go onto the intermediate tires very early. And I actually didn't think we were going to get anything from that specific Grand Prix, but as you can see on your screens, we ended up grabbing 7th place in the Dutch Grand Prix, and that now means we are sitting on 105 points. We are the latest addition to the 100 points club here in the Drivers' Championship. 8 drivers so far that have scored over 100 points, and in the Constructors' Championship it is the same points tally because we are the only Haas driver who have scored points, but we are comfortably sitting in P5 in that specific championship. And speaking of championships, we actually haven't paid too much attention to the actual Drivers' Championship in terms of who's actually winning it at the current state of things. But Lando Norris is currently leading Max Verstappen by 2 measly points at the top of the Drivers' Championship. And then in P3 you have Oscar Piastri, the only other driver to break into the 200 points, but he is on 213 points. So he's quite far behind the 2 other drivers, and he's going to have to do some catching up if he wants to retain any hopes of potentially snagging a first World Championship for himself. And in the Constructors, I mean, it's pretty clear who is the dominant force in the Constructors' Championship. McLaren at the moment leading by, what is that going to be? That is 99 points, as a matter of fact. And Yuki Tsunoda, his poor start to the season, as we can see here, Yuki Tsunoda, he had some pretty poor races at the beginning of the season that looks to be costing Red Bull at the current state of how the championship is developing. But again, I mean, we can see drivers retire. It is that part of the season where mechanical failures are starting to show up, and especially somewhere like Monza, I wouldn't be surprised if we see an unexpected retirement. But before we could get into that specific race, let's get on with qualifying for the Italian Grand Prix and set the grid for Sunday's race.
For over a century, the Temple of Speed has all come down to moments like this. Driver versus the stopwatch to set the grid for the Grand Prix. It is qualifying at Monza.
And here we go. The famed Monza circuit. There we are in the garage getting ready to climb into the car. And 11 corners is what makes up this circuit here for the Italian Grand Prix. Let's take some fuel out of the car. That way we are not overweight. And for this race, we are running very low wings in terms of the setup. We're pretty much running, I think we're running 0-0 actually. And Ollie quick out on track as well. Hopefully he can get into the later stages of qualifying here today. That would be lovely if he was actually able to do that for once. The car is good enough for it at this stage of the season. And he has also showcased that he, on several occasions, has actually been close to making it into both Q2, and on one occasion he was close to making it into Q3. I think he actually did make it into Q3 on one occasion, so he has the pace. He just needs to find it. And what better time than towards the tail end of the season to find your pace. But yeah, 11 corners is all this track has to offer, and then a bunch of straight lines. And the most famous corner right here, the Ascari chicane. A little left-right-left combination taken at incredible speeds. We're going to back off slightly here. That way we're not going to get in the way of Ollie. But here we go. Let's begin our first flying lap here in qualifying around Monza. Let's see what we can do. Down to 60% on the ERS. Braking very, very late, and then you need a good turn in here. That was decent. Felt good. And now the run into the turns 4-5 chicane. Right here. Braking also very, very late. Attacking the curbs. And then the two Lesmo corners here. All running very wide there. The car not really gripping up, unfortunately, on that occasion. But we survive. And now the run down towards Ascari. Here we go, and we need to take this pretty... We need to be brave here. And we are brave. Looks decent. And because there's no DRS here, I'm going to use a little bit of ERS. Liam Lawson, provisional fastest lap here in Q1. But I think we are about to break that. Here we go, the run to the line. And there we go, we are faster, but Ollie actually faster than us.
Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Alright. So our teammate actually showing up for once. Wow. And Sonoda is faster than us as well. We're going to let the Japanese driver past here. Not hold him up. Let's go back to the pits. Where there are some places I could improve. I think I know where it is, but I need confirmation.
Okay, we've only got one lap of fuel remaining.
I think it was especially this corner right here, the first of the two Lesmos. I've really lost a lot of time through there. So I think there's some improvements to be found in the middle sector. But at the moment, Ollie actually showing up is nice to see. It's a nice change of things. And bear in mind, we are running lower downforce than probably the majority of the grid. So turn-ins are going to be a little bit difficult. But that is to be expected. But I don't think this is too bad of a lap time. We're going to have to wait and see, unfortunately. But P7 at the moment, behind Oscar Piastri. We're probably going to drop a couple of more positions once everyone gets to post a lap time. And there we go, we have to wait for our teammate to get wheeled into his garage. That's fine. We're not in a rush. At the moment, we're still faster than Hadjar and Hulkenberg. And I think there are some other drivers there below Hulkenberg as well. So I'm not expecting that we are too much in trouble. But let's wait and see. There we go, one of the V-Carbs coming into the garage, almost hitting our front jackman. Hopefully he didn't hit him. But let's see where we lose the majority of our lap time compared to our teammate. So the majority of the time loss is actually in the final sector. Ooh, that's interesting. It's not because we are so far behind Ollie, as Bortoletto goes P7. Oh, there's a bunch of drivers, both Mercedes drivers, together with the Williams of Carlos Sainz, also improves. Yeah, it's not because we're too far off. I'm surprised it's the final sector, though, that we lose the majority of the lap time. Interesting. So we have about 3/10 that we could find on our teammate. Still a bunch of drivers who haven't posted a lap time yet. Let's actually wait and see. With, let's say, 7 minutes to go, what the situation is. So we are currently 14th. We would make it through, but I do suspect that the two Astons and maybe also Colapinto would find an improvement. So I'm not going to gamble on
All clear the
actually
gauge,
making it
Cars
through
ready to leave.
on this lap time. Maybe it's just the commitment through Ascari that wasn't the best. Or maybe we took the final corner not optimal. I mean, there's plenty of options, but I do think there's improvements to be found. And 3/10, I mean, that's not a lot on a track like this, because if you find a small improvement in one of the corners, you're carrying that improvement onto the straights.
We've been pushed down into P14.
And that just means if you make a mistake, you're bleeding lap time all the way until the next corner. And around here, there's quite a distance between the different corners. So you're going to be bleeding a lot of time if you make a simple mistake. But let's see. I mean, it should be possible to find a small improvement and the necessary improvement. So where is it that it splits? It splits right here as we come under this billboard right here. So the Ascari chicane might not have been optimized from our side, and that might be where we have lost those 3/10. It makes perfect sense. But let's see. Here we go. Let's try this again. See if we can't find a small improvement. Beginning another lap.
2 laps of fuel remaining now.
Let's see what we can do. Heading into turn 1, braking very, very late here. Hitting that apex beautifully. And we found just shy of half a tenth. That's pretty decent. Oh, as we touched the grass there, that was not optimal. My bad. Oh, overshooting that corner ever so slightly. We've lost 2/10. Now we just need to see if we can regain that time. Oh, as we run very close to the track limits there. Oh, I haven't activated the DRS. Ah, this is a sloppy lap. We need to see if we can recharge, and then we go again. That was a sloppy attempt from my side. Let's recharge the car.
Okay, we've dropped into P14 now.
Now it's low charge mode, so it's not going to charge as well. Alright, we're going to have to see what we can do on this, on 67% charge. Let's see what we can do. Let's try this again. Here we go. We're going to lose a lot of time in the straight line compared to our first lap time. But we're going to gain it back, hopefully, in the corners. There we go. That was lovely. Blast the VRS, and now into the second chicane. Let's do a little bit better here. Oh, that really felt good. We almost gained a 10th there. Now through the two Lesmos. That was significantly better. Now we are 3.5 tenths up. Let's see if we can nail Ascari. Then we should be good. There we go. That was significantly faster. We are low on fuel. Should be good though. We are low on ERS as well. Into the final corner. Here we go. We're going to bleed a little bit of lap time, but we're going to find 3.5 tenths. And that's good enough for P8. There we go.
Understood. Stopping this lap.
That was what was required. That was good. That was really good. And necessary as well. And now we just need to go back to the pits. So we are safely through to Q2. No problems there. We're going to have to do a lot of lifting and coasting to get it all the way back to the pits. Otherwise we're going to run out of fuel. Let's see if we can do it. It's going to be difficult. We're going to have to be driving on the mirrors, as they say, to make sure that we don't impede anyone. Gonna run it in the hot lap and open the DRS to reduce drag. That should be fine. Oh, don't hit the wall. Now through Ascari. Should be fine as well. Let's activate the battery. Get every bit of help we can get. We are in low fuel mode, I think. Deactivate the battery and go into recharge. There we go. No problems at all. And into the pits with us. No problems at all. Quite surprisingly, we're behind Gasly though. The Frenchman has done really well to get his Alpine into P7, but I mean, so far so good, as they say. But we are safely through to Q2. I was getting a little bit worried, but we managed to make it work. We make it through in P10, so a couple of drivers improving towards the end there. But it's fine, it's fine. And the improvement, yeah, Lance Stroll improved enough to make it ahead of us. Ollie in P11 as well. He's not that far behind us. So he also found a small improvement. So getting knocked out here in Q1 is Colapinto. Alonso didn't make it through. Hulkenberg, Hadjar and Lawson also not advancing. Ollie is quite close. But saying that though, we didn't have the optimal setup for this specific lap, so we had to do with a severely lacking battery in terms of charge. So we should be doing better here in Q2, and I do suspect that, I mean, Q3 shouldn't be a problem. Let's get some of the other drivers out there first. Let's see what they can do. Let's go out with, what should we say, 5 minutes to go. So coming back into the pits, let's see where the different drivers are. Ollie currently in P11. He's not too far behind Antonelli. He needs to find a small improvement though, if he wants to make it through. And we are only going to get one shot here. So we're going to go out with 5 minutes to go.
Everyone ready? Okay, let's go.
Because we only have one set of softs remaining. And we are fueled so that if we are required, if we make a mistake early on in the lap, we can go again. Ollie currently in P13. I would love to see him find a small improvement. It's obviously going to be difficult. Both Mercedes are all the way down in P11 and 12. That is quite surprising. That is very surprising indeed. But yeah, we need to eliminate the small mistakes.
To P15.
And then we should have the opportunity to make it clean through. No problems at all. And then it's going to get very exciting for the race. Let's see what tyre we're going to be starting on, if it's the inters or the full wets. Here we go, our one and only lap in Q2 is going to begin here in a short moment. Right, here we go. Let's see what we can do. If we are capable of doing anything that is worth talking about. Draining the battery all the way to 60%. Now heading into turn 1, spot the braking zone. Could have been better, but it was okay. Now we run into turns 4 and 5.
3 minutes to go.
That felt really good. No bumps there. Very good through the first Lesmo, second Lesmo. Also feeling really good, very much on the limit there. But it was good. Drain it to 40% and now we need to commit into Ascari. And oh, right on the edge of track limit there. Very close.
Right, that's us pushed down into P15.
Now just the last corner to go. And now we drain the battery all the way to the line. There we go, P4. Decent.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
Decent. That is what we were capable of doing with a fully optimized battery. And there we go. We should be safely through to Q3. No problems. And once again, it seems like we're going to outscore our teammate here in qualifying. But saying that though, Ollie has made it further than he has done on most occasions this season. So I do have to give him some applause for actually making it through to Q2. Because he didn't do that a whole lot early on in the season, so he is slowly finding his footing. It's just a little bit too late, unfortunately. But unless the other driver's going to find a huge improvement, which I highly doubt they're going to find, We should be safely through. There we go. Safely through to Q2, or Q3, sorry, with half a minute to go, so no problems there. In P4, if we could get a similar result in Q3, I'd be happy. And you can hear the other drivers starting their final laps, getting ready to see if they can squeeze any more time out of their tires and their cars. There we go. We are done. 7th in the end, so a couple of drivers improving. You love to see it. Wonder who improved. So I think it might have been Tsunoda, Leclerc and Albon who managed to find some small improvements and getting knocked out. Oh, Oscar Piastri, wow, one of the McLarens getting knocked out. George Russell as well, Lance Stroll, our teammate, and Gabby Bortoleto not making it through. But Oscar Piastri, I did not expect that from the Aussie. So he's out, and we are moving on to Q3. Fastest in that session was Max Verstappen. I think he looks like a likely candidate for what could be a very good pole position for him. But let's wait and see. I mean, nothing is set in stone yet. Speaking of not being set in stone, we have to wait. We only have one shot, so we're going to go out with the other drivers. We're going to wait until there's roughly 3 minutes to go. And that is where the track should be at its best. Once the other drivers are starting to make their way out.
Right, the car's ready. Let's get it out there.
Here we go. We're going to get one shot here in Q3. And we're going to be starting at minimum P10. Obviously don't know if there's any penalties that some of the drivers might be carrying. You never know. Could be a thing. And we come out just behind Charles Leclerc with 2.5 minutes to go. We have plenty of time. I think realistically P8 here is a possibility. That could be a realistic target. I think maybe P7 is a little bit too optimistic to think that we can beat Yuki Tsunoda. But I mean, I could be wrong. You never know. And we're gonna have to get our things moving. Oh, as we pick a bit of gravel up there. But yeah, we're gonna start the lap behind Charles Leclerc. We're gonna give him plenty of room. That way, he shouldn't be a problem as we get further into the lap. I'm just aiming to beat Gasly and Albon, if that is possible. Should be possible. But let's see. We have just about a minute to go once we round the final corner. We're going to start our prep pretty early. Here we go. Ready to go. We activate the ERS quite early on. And we are ready to go for Q3. Let's see what we can do. Heading into turn 1. Spot the braking zone here. That was significantly better than Q2. Here we go. Let's see what we can do. Turns 4 and 5. That was also pretty decent. Now the two Lesmos, the two corners we have found the trickiest actually. quite surprisingly. Drain it to 40%. Now we're ready for Ascari. We need to throw everything at it. Here we go. Oh, running a little bit deep there into Ascari. That's going to compromise our lap time, unfortunately. Here we go. Running it to 15%. Should be decent. Running a little bit wide there, but we're going to cut in and then square off the corner. There we go. Wonder what that was good enough for. P6. Alright. That is pretty good. And who did we end up beating?
Qualifying wrapped up, we now have our grid line up for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
So we do actually end up beating Yuki Tsunoda and also out-qualifying both Pierre Gasly, but both Williams. So not just Albon, but also Carlos Sainz. And as predicted, Max Verstappen takes pole position only by 75 thousandths of a second. So what is that? 3/4 of a tenth faster than Charles Leclerc. And then it's the two Britons, Norris and Hamilton, in P3 and 4. And Antonelli, for once, at his home track, although it's not technically his home race, but he is on home soil, finally gets a good qualifying result and manages to out-qualify his teammate. That is quite nice. I mean, P6, that is a pretty good result. And much more than I had hoped for. And now we just have to tackle the majority of the race. It looks like half of the race is going to be run in the wet. Probably intermediate tires. But we'll see. Regardless, we have 27 laps to go. And if it's about halfway distance, that would mean it's around lap 13 or 14 that the rain is going to start to cease up. But we'll just have to wait and see. But 27 laps to figure out who comes out on top here at Monza, the Temple of Speed. And I must say, we have had a couple of tracks now where I've said it's not my favorite. We're getting into the part of the season now where we're getting to some of my absolute favorite tracks. You know, Zandvoort, I haven't driven it a whole lot, but I quite like it. It has a nice flow. Monza is a classic. We had Spa as well. It was really, really good. I love that track. That's probably my favorite European track. And then after this, we go to Baku for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. I love Baku. And my favorite street circuit then comes after in Singapore.
The third permanent circuit built anywhere on Earth. Monza has always been special. Now it's been providing motor racing memories for a century. Welcome to the Italian Grand Prix.
It's not that wet, actually.
It's raining out there. 3.6 miles of Monza circuit will therefore be pretty tricky in these low grip conditions. We've got the Parabolica, or as it's now known, the Curva Alboreto. It's going to put the drivers to the test.
A pretty flat track compared to some other tracks on the calendar, so not much elevation change.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race.
And let's see if there's any penalties that needs to be applied.
Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Hamilton, Andrea Kimi, Antonelli, Iceman, Tsunoda, Sainz, Albon, and Oscar Piastri. Russell, Behrman, Gabriel Bortoleto, and Colapinto. Alonso, Hulkenberg, Isaac Hadjar, and Liam Lawson. Gasly and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
All right, so both Gasly and Stroll carrying
We
penalties.
welcome to the commentary box Anthony Davidson. I'm Alex Jakes. We're both looking forward to a really intriguing race today. Now, those final hours before a race, did you have a routine?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
We've got a great chance of getting another points finish in this race. Keep it clean and hopefully we can work our way up the field.
Absolutely. Of course, Mark. We'll do our very best. And, intermediates as predicted. I'm a little bit curious if we can actually take the inters all the way to the dry period, but we're going to do our best, that is for sure. Here we go. Starting behind the home hero here at Monza, the only Italian on the grid at the moment, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, having a cracking qualifying session, and he will be starting in P5. But I'll be doing my very best to try and displace him at the race start, hopefully. Although saying that, we have not been that good in the sketchy conditions. It's only been when it's in the transitional periods that we have profited off it. But who knows? Maybe that's another Grand Prix here today that we can actually do this at.
10 minutes left of this rain, then we think it's going to dry up. 10 minutes. Inters seem to be the fastest tyre for now.
So 10 minutes until the rain starts to cease up. That would put it around lap 10, maybe lap 9 if it is a little bit quicker. And then the track obviously has to dry up, so maybe around lap 13 we'll see a dry line form and we'll be able to switch over to what I can only imagine would be a hard tyre. Probably take a hard tyre until lap 27 from there. The medium would probably deteriorate too fast, and honestly, during practice, the hard tyre was a significantly better race tyre, in my opinion, when we did the race strategy practice program. It ran just as quick times, and it had significantly lower tyre wear, so if it's around the midway point when we start to see the rain dry up, I'll definitely be going for a hard tyre and see if I can take it all the way to the end. Knowing the AI, they're probably going to take a medium and make it just as well. But before we get to that point, we have to get to the halfway point of the race. And before we can do that, we have to take the race start.
Okay, incredible parking there, nice one. That's going to give you the edge if you can get good launch as the race starts.
We know what chaos
okay, so that's the rest of the grid forming up now.
could
Be
await
patient
us
and watch for those lights.
in the Monza Turn 1. Here we go, 5 red lights, and we are away, and we get a significantly better start than Kimi Antonelli. Now we just need to pick our way through here. The other drivers braking right amongst them. We're up the inside of Hamilton. Hamilton in turn up the inside of Norris, and we have overtaken both of them. And that means we're up into P3 here at the race start. And now we're pressurizing Max Verstappen. But we're not quite able to go diving down the inside of the Dutchman. Ooh, big snap there. Coming out of the second chicane. And obviously no DRS to save us here. And we are going to be suffering here in the wet because we're running a much lower downforce setup. Probably compared to any of the other drivers on the grid. but that just means in a straight line we're going to be rapid. But a clean race start once again. And we're doing absolute bits on the race starts. Hamilton now putting pressure on here, wants to get that P3 back. We're not going to make it easy for him. It goes around the outside. And there is the Superior probably set up. Maybe that is the reason.
Okay, the start was fine. Let's try and move forward.
Let's see if we can get him back. He moves to the inside. We're going to try and go around the outside. The beautiful thing about the first two chicanes here is that outside turns to inside. And there we go, we're past Hamilton again. So P3 at the moment looks like a possibility. But we are so slow in the middle sector that it's actually criminal. And that is probably where we're going to lose the majority of our lap time throughout this Grand Prix. Especially in the wet, where we don't have similar levels of grip to a dry track. You can just see how quick the other drivers are through the twisty bits, and now especially through Ascari here. Hamilton is probably going to be putting pressure on as soon as we get out of the chicane. Here we go. Here he comes. Gets a good drive here, Hamilton. We're going to squeeze him a little bit. Ooh, as he goes for the outside there. Not quite able to get it this time. We rub tires. And here comes Lando Norris. They obviously have the slipstream now. To the outside. I don't even know who that is. Oh, we brake a little. We overshoot the corner a little bit there. Yeah, Hamilton tried his luck. Not profitable. And right now we're just holding him, Norris and Tsunoda up. Piastri has made an absolutely blinding start. And he is up into what would be, what, P8? I think. So he's had a good start to his race. And these corners especially we're suffering through. Just can't push as much as some of the other drivers.
Okay, you're doing well out there. Keep it up. We're looking at about 10 more minutes of rain. 10 minutes. Inters look like the best tyre for now.
So still 10 minutes until the rain. There we go. Hamilton putting the pressure on. He's not as close this time. Obviously doesn't have the help and the aid of DRS, which is a huge thing, especially around Monza, where if you have the DRS it is a huge blessing. Oh, here he comes, using up his battery.
Try to stay with them. They might make a mistake and we could still regain the position.
But we are side by side heading into the first two corners. And we managed to... Did we manage to keep it? We did manage to keep it. Once again. What about the tyre life? It looks decent. No problems there. So at the moment, we're doing good. And Verstappen not exactly running away with things together with Leclerc. I was expecting them to start breaking away and just run away from us. But he is still within viewing distance once we get through some of the corners. And I'm quite surprised about that. The tyres are now warm, so that also gives us a massive helping hand. That we actually do have some tyre heat. And the rears especially, we do need to be a little bit careful on the left rear. Overheating slightly in the core temperatures. We do need to be a little bit careful there. Here we go, using up a little bit of battery.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 5.7 seconds.
Here comes Hamilton, giving him a bit of a squeeze there. He goes to the inside, but we have showcased that we can go the long way. He doesn't have the superior car here in the wet. The Haas is actually quite
The radar
good.
showing a clear patch on its way. There's about 10 more minutes of this rain. Okay, mate, that's Hamilton behind. We want to keep them behind, please. It's critical for our race.
What do you think I'm trying to do here, Mark? Until lap 10, so 5 more laps to try and keep Hamilton behind. That can be more than difficult enough, actually. Using a little bit
Tyre
of
condition
ERS.
still looking good.
Tyres do look good. You are right, Mark. Oh, cutting Ascari there. Maybe a little bit too aggressive. At the moment, we are still doing good. Let's actually see if we can get this corner, the final corner here. Get a good exit for once. They do seem to be carrying a lot of pace coming out of the final corner, which actually does make things a little bit tricky to defend from sometimes. But for the first time this race, we didn't really have to defend into turn 1, which says a lot about how our race have been going so far.
Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 5.1 seconds.
And we're not catching the car ahead. What do you think? Mark is dreaming things. The rain is not really easing up just yet.
Okay, we're monitoring somewhere on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power.
Well, that's unfortunate. The engine at Monza is not something you want to hear. That is absolutely not what you want to hear. And keeping Hamilton behind could prove a little bit more tricky now than it already was. Charles Leclerc, fastest lap. The Ferrari is really coming into its own right now. Let's see, what does Hamilton have for us? Here he comes. Not quite able to pull alongside us this time. We position our car beautifully in the middle once again.
Current forecast is 5 or 10 minutes more of rain before it starts to dry up. Inters seem to be the fastest tyre for now.
I love how he just says it like 5 or 10 minutes is roughly the same. Not giving any thought to the fact that 10 minutes is double the amount of 5 minutes, and it's a pretty big, like, deal if it's actually 10
Tyre wear's
minutes.
higher than we're expecting. We've got a new strategy available on your MFD if you want it. Copy.
Sure. Let's do that. Yeah, tyre wear is a little bit high. I mean, nothing new there. That is the main problem we've been fighting ever since the start of the season. I didn't even see what lap he wanted us to box. Defending is getting a little bit tricky now. And here comes Hamilton.
Okay, mate, we didn't get what we needed there, I'm afraid. But head down, chin up, and let's focus on the rest of the race.
Let's see if we can stick it down the inside of him again. And around the outside this time. Hamilton jumps the curb there. Gets a poor exit, and that means we stay in front of him. Yuki Tsunoda had a brief look as well. Didn't quite make it. I need to recharge a little bit here through the middle sector, because we're running dangerously low on ERS. And the middle sector is slow enough that we can actually just flick it into none and get away with it. There we go. Battery recharged. And we're ready to go again. Here comes Hamilton. He had a brief look into Ascari. Didn't want that. And decided to sit back instead. And here he comes. He has dropped Tsunoda and the two McLarens. And he's all on his own this time. Meanwhile, Charles Leclerc continues to post fastest laps. Ooh, as we almost drop it coming out of the Parabolica. I don't know the new name, so I'm going to keep calling it Parabolica. And Hamilton and myself in a drag race into turn 1. Spot the braking point. Squeeze Hamilton. And once again we defend from Hamilton. The rain is still sitting around.
Okay, we're monitoring some wear on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power. Systems all looking good. Head down. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 8.1 seconds.
Alright, so it's nothing critical just yet in terms of the engine wear. It is obviously something that could play a bigger part as we get into later into the race. But at the moment it doesn't seem like it's a problem.
So the rain should be stopping anytime soon. Be ready for the grip to come back, but don't overheat the tyres. Inters look like the best tyre for now.
To me that sounds like potentially 3 to 4 laps before we start to see the first couple of drivers make the move onto some slick tyres. Leclerc once again posting another fastest lap. So he's really putting the hammer down. Quite ironically, when his teammate is Lewis Hamilton. Speaking of Hamilton, still behind us, haunting us. He still doesn't have the top speed to go for it. Heading into turn 1, we can just stay.
Weather's changing now. We're going to have to change strategy, so it's time to box.
Okay. Mark on point here.
Copy that.
Moving over to slick tyres soon. And I love to see that hard tyre. I think we can take it quite far. If we can go until maybe lap 13 before we switch tyres, we should be able to take the hard tyre all the way to the end. Obviously depends on when this rain decides to stop.
It's still not a perfect situation, but I don't think we've got cause to move on to a different tyre yet.
Okay. Mark doesn't think that the slick tyre is ready yet. Hamilton once again.
I've got information on Lawson. Okay, they're out of this race.
Liam Lawson out of the Grand Prix. Does that give us a safety car? Because if it does, you could think a move early onto some slick tyres could be the play. Here comes Hamilton. On the outside this time. Whoa! What is he doing?
Okay, I think the track's going to be drying out quite soon. Be careful you don't burn out your tyres.
He wanted to go into the pits.
That we're trailing the car ahead by 5.6 seconds.
Oh my days. Hamilton wanted to go into the pits, but he was on the outside of my car, and he just decided to cut across.
Right, Ollie's coming in for his stop. The pit box is currently full. Stay out on track. Stay out.
And the rain has stopped. Still not convinced that it is... Okay, it is time.
Yellow flag.
It is time, I think. There's a yellow flag that might be for Liam Lawson. And the rain has stopped instantly.
Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please.
DRS has been enabled. I think it was a good play to actually wait.
Clear.
Here we go. Sainz behind us also had to wait, together with Stroll. Let's see if we actually don't jump a couple of drivers. We do have to be careful into the pits. Oh my days. That was a track extension if I've ever seen one. But we lost enough time and potentially broke the
DRS
fall.
has been enabled. DRS is now enabled.
We're moving into the pits now. We do have to be careful on entry. There we go. No problems there. Here we go. Into the pits we come for our hopefully one and only stop. Leclerc resumes the lead. There we go. We don't get held by Sainz, which is good. Here we go.
Okay, one stop to go. Just one stop left in this strategy.
Still a little bit greasy. Hamilton lost a lot of time. He's lost the position to the McLaren. Oh yeah, it's still greasy. But we definitely benefited from actually waiting with the switch. So that was a clever move.
This is our true position. We're on the same strategy. They've pitted as well as us, so warm up your tyres and make the most of this stint. Okay, mate, we want to make sure we're saving some ERS, so let's try and charge it up now.
Sure thing, if that's what you want. The fuel seems to be fixing itself as well, so no problems there. Oh. Whoa, we almost did a Nicolas Chiesa there. If you know, you know. If you don't know, I would highly suggest searching on YouTube Nicolas Chiesa big save Monza. Back in the day when he drove for Minardi. He had a big save. Here we go, Lando Norris. Sorry, not
okay,
Oscar
gap to the
Piastri.
car ahead. 7.7 seconds.
And he chooses the outside, heading into turn 1. We're going to stick it down the inside. We outbroke ourselves a little bit there. No big problems. That was a little bit of a reckless move. But it is what it is.
Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
That's a good thing to hear. Let's recharge. A little bit of battery, see if we can get some recharge going here.
Oh, great stuff. You hit that target. Really good job.
There we go. It's probably going to be difficult to defend from these two now. So P5 might be what we are looking at the end of the race. It's not quite dry enough to go absolutely crazy. Leclerc with the fastest lap. Here comes Lando Norris. Goes for the outside, doesn't quite go for the move. He would love that DRS. Oh, he sets it up around the outside. Absolutely dirty.
Okay, focus. We need to stay on form.
And here comes Hamilton. Oh, he didn't get the DRS. We got it. Alright. Heading into turn 1. Ooh! Almost driving into the back of Hamilton there. Ooh. That was close. Yeah, but Norris is probably going to get us on the next... in the next DRS zone. Unless we can keep up with Hamilton. I obviously forgot that I was running 0-0 wings. So I'm not going to be as efficient under braking as the other two. Which is obviously a mistake on my part. We managed to keep up with Hamilton here, which is good. Keep the DRS. Good little weapon we have there. And in a straight line we should have the upper hand. Leclerc with the fastest lap time at 1:23.4. I think it said. Now let's see, we do get the DRS this time as well. As long as we just stay within DRS of Hamilton.
Gap to your teammate behind, 9.8 seconds.
We should be fine. Ooh, 9 point... What did he say? That could mean Ollie could be in points at the moment. I would love if that was the case. Albon and Antonelli squabbling over P6 at the moment. And right now we're just sticking with Hamilton very nicely. Oh, through these two corners here, he has the upper hand. I can definitely feel the dirty air. At the moment, quite satisfied with how our race is going. Leclerc once again improving his fastest lap as the laps go on. Seems like he's just getting faster and faster. Good for him, I suppose. On Ferrari's home turf, we post our personal best at the end of this lap. Into turn 1. Getting it slowed down quite nicely there. And once again, Albon and Antonelli squabbling over P6. Hopefully that gives our teammate an opportunity as well. If the pack is relatively close. We're sticking nicely with Hamilton here. Not really any problems. The race is settling down. We are slowly but surely. Oh, we have to do a little bit of lift and coasting, I can see, because we are in the negative in regards to fuel. Well, good thing we have such a big braking zone at the beginning of the lap. Just lift and coast into turn 1. Shouldn't be a problem. Can actually just do it from here. Basically doesn't lose us any time to Hamilton. And that gained us a lot of fuel. We're back in the green. That was decent. We can do it at both chicanes if necessary. I don't really feel like it's necessary. We can also do it into Ascari if necessary, which I think we might actually do. Just lift and coasting from here. Basically doesn't lose us any time to Hamilton. That's good. Leclerc dropping fastest lap after fastest lap. Good on him, I suppose. We lost a little bit in Parabolica there.
We're approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums.
No, we're not boxing again. What is the tyre life at the moment? Nah, no problems there. We should be able to go to the end. Just fine. No problems there at all. And Lyco is going just as I would have liked it to. Quite nice. Hamilton's slowing down significantly right now. We caught up big time to him there. Wonder if he's boxing, because that is the predicted strategy. Let's see. Does he box? No, he doesn't. Verstappen boxes though, and so does Leclerc. Ooh, interesting. And so does Ollie.
Ollie's in the pits. Ollie in the pits now.
Why? He was running so well. Oh well. You can't win them all, I suppose. Ooh, running a little too heavy
Okay,
over
mate,
that
Hamilton's
curb.
ahead of you. We don't want to let this hold us up too long, so do your best to get past and get on with the race.
Nah, he's not holding me up right now. At the moment, I'm just using him as a tool to try and save some fuel. So he's absolutely not holding me up. We're just nicely tagging along with him. But he might actually be boxing at the end of this lap. So we'll get him regardless. Here we go. No, he doesn't box. Okay. Interesting.
Okay, we want you to pit this lap, so push now, push.
He doesn't box. That's interesting. Oh, get it slowed down. Norris also doesn't box. Interesting. Using a little bit of ERS here to keep up with Hamilton. So I did outbrake myself slightly into the first chicane. We're sticking nicely with him, but we're going to have the company of Charles Leclerc soon to contend with. I would suspect he's going to get past Norris on this straight, and then...
Box now, please. Box this lap.
We're not boxing. We are staying out. The tyres, they're well good. They can do another 7 laps, no problem. Here we go. Leclerc past Lando Norris. And Hamilton boxes.
Mate, great stuff. You hit that target. That sets us up nicely for the rest of this race.
And apparently we are now leading the Italian Grand Prix, which I did not expect. But it's not going to be for long, because we're going to have, as I said, the company of Charles Leclerc in a couple of laps' time. And we are still lifting and coasting to get to the end. Probably going to have to do it for another couple of laps before we can start resuming or resume normal push mode. The question is if the tyres are going to be there. Let's see, Fernando Alonso with the fastest lap and Max Verstappen 12 seconds back. Is he going to be a theme as well? Someone we're going to have to defend from? Could maybe see it happening, but we'll see. Right now the tyres feel absolutely amazing. Leclerc is going to have us for bits down this straight here. Ideally don't want him to take us into turn 1, which he probably is going to do anyway. Going to let him go. Let's see if we can tag along with him.
Keep on him, he might make a mistake.
Don't want to lose time. Let's see if we can stick with him for at least a lap. Or if that is completely out of the question. It seems like he has significantly more pace than me. He is on a newer set of hards. He's already broken the DRS window. So I don't think that's going to be possible. Whoa, that was close. Once again. Yeah, Leclerc has this one in the bag unless the Ferrari decides to self-destruct, which I don't think is going to happen. So we're just going to have to coast this one home. Maybe Verstappen is going to become maybe a problem towards the end of the race. But at the moment we just need to drive as smart as we have done.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 40.4 seconds.
40 seconds? That is half a lap. That is crazy. Wonder what Ollie has been doing. But yeah, this lifting and coasting is also doing the tires pretty decently at the moment. And in general, Monza is not really a tire-hungry circuit. So it's not a big problem.
Remember, box this lap. Keep an eye on your distance to the speed limit line as you approach and make sure you don't speed.
Mark has been pestering me about that second pit stop for many laps now. I'm never taking it, Mark. We're good on tires. It's not going to be a problem. Verstappen is closing by around a second per lap, despite us still lifting and coasting. So, at this rate, he's not going to catch us. But things might change. Because at the moment we are just keeping things at bay in terms of the fuel. We're not really gaining fuel lifetime over the course of a lap. We're just hitting status quo. So maybe a little bit more fuel inefficient around here than I originally predicted. That's okay though. Verstappen has now closed significantly more on the previous lap, so he might actually catch us come the end of the race.
Grip is probably dropping due to wear, so don't be too aggressive.
No worries, Mark. I am not really pushing the car at the moment. We're just making it home. We have 3 laps to go, including this one. And a podium looks very likely, which is not bad, also considering that we are powered by a Ferrari engine. So, I mean, engine suppliers home Grand Prix, you love to see it. Although the Tifosi might actually not be too pleased, considering that we battled Hamilton for so long at the beginning of the race and so hard. They might not like that. You never know. The fuel is eating up slowly, so we are going to have to do this lifting and coasting maybe until the last lap. So Verstappen is going to be right with us at the end. He is only 3.9 seconds behind now, and he's closing in fast. Let's use a little bit of ERS to try and help ourselves. Penultimate lap has been opened. And after this one, we only have 1 lap remaining. Tire wear. The front left is screaming, but it looks okay. It doesn't feel too bad at the moment, the way we're driving as well. I'm not too displeased with the situation. Now we should be good to just push until the end on the last lap. Verstappen is 2.5 seconds behind. So again, he might actually be with us on the last lap. Oh, especially if we make mistakes like that. But obviously can't push the car as hard right now because of the tyre wear. But again, we've made it work. Podium once again, really solid. As we round the final corner to begin the final lap of the Italian Grand Prix.
Okay, final lap. Let's go. Final lap.
And Max Verstappen is very close, actually. He is right there, 1.5 seconds behind, and he is closing in. And our engine problems might invite him inside to go for a move. Whoa, and also if we keep doing things like that. Tires were a little bit more used than I expected. And here we go, Verstappen right with us. Does he have what it takes? He has the DRS, obviously. We are low on energy. Heading into Ascari. Oh. Ooh. That was close. Does he have anything here? We're out of battery. Max Verstappen, is he going to get us on the final lap? Oh. Oh, yeah, he is. That was a little bit overcommitted there. We're going to pick up 3rd place though. Tried to defend it, but at the end, couldn't really do anything.
Yes, and that's a podium. Excellent drive. The whole team have worked especially hard this weekend, and that, my friend, is a fantastic reward. Well done.
But again, a podium, it's not too bad. I mean, it's really not bad, so...
The man from Monaco will win again. Charles Leclerc takes the checkered flag.
But yeah, Charles Leclerc
To do
takes
it as a
victory.
team, on home soil, that really means something special. And you can see how much it means to them, the drivers involved as well. Great job by them today, of course, as always. But for the fans watching on too, a great display of teamwork here today.
I think maybe Ferrari have actually gambled for a double podium. But they're going to have to
Striding out to take
stick
the
with
acclaim
us.
of the crowd and their team below our podium finishers. Back on top once again, please welcome our winner, Charles Leclerc.
And there we are. Leclerc wins from Verstappen and myself. Yeah, that last corner from me, I just tried to throw it, absolutely everything at it, and it didn't really work. So, that's unfortunate. But nevertheless, another podium. And
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who's joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
another good haul of points for ourselves. Our teammate finished 13th. So he would have been. He was actually close to the points this time, because Carlos Sainz, the last point-scoring driver, only finished 2 seconds in front of him. So they were probably running like in a close train here, 10th all the way to 13th. And he could maybe have had a point by now, but alas, it wasn't to be. But 15 points from this race. And that adds beautifully to our own tally. And we are now up against Andrea, Kimi Antonelli. Oh, wow. Okay. So no longer up against Yuki Tsunoda. But our new rival is the Italian stallion, Andrea Kimi Antonelli. We are 74 overall rated. And let's not even pay attention to the inter-team battle, because we're absolutely whooping Behrman's ass, to say it politely. And nothing he can do about it. But yeah, that was a very successful Italian Grand Prix, and significantly more than I had actually thought was possible.
It seems as if you have a new rival. This is the perfect opportunity to show the world why you belong in this sport, and to show me why you belong amongst my very exclusive clientele. That's a joke. I love working with you.
So it is a race to get to an overall rating of 77 first. Don't think we're going to do it before the end of the season, which obviously is going to be the end of this particular series. But, I mean, let's see. Everything could be possible. Here we go. Fast forwarding. The road
mate,
to...
I know we were expecting some new developments to come through, but I'm afraid to say that some of them have failed quality control. We're going to need to tell the team what to redevelop via the R&D screen.
There we go. Unfortunately, the new rotor speed, it was a minor engine upgrade, but it would have been nice to have for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, especially because of that long start-finish straight. But I mean, at the end of the day, if we have to wait one more race, it's nothing too serious. And looking at the engine, we're actually doing... No wonder we finished on the podium. Look at the graph on the right side there. We are one of the best teams, apparently. We have a lot of engine parts in the weight. We have an ECU upgrade, and now we have the rotor speed upgrade. And here we have some beautiful upgrades. So we have some new chassis upgrades that is going to be fitted to the car for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And what do we actually have that is in progress? So we have a major aerodynamics upgrade and a minor powertrain. And Ollie has a minor upgrade on both powertrain and aerodynamics. So we do have some upgrades in the weights, and in terms of the development race, we're sitting right around Mercedes and Aston Martin. We're not that far behind from Ferrari. I almost said it in a Danish accent there. Ferrari. But yeah, no, that is a very successful end to that one. Didn't think a podium was possible. And we are now only 4 points behind Yuki Tsunoda. So we are relatively close to the Japanese driver once again. And 120 points. That is a good points haul in terms of actually driving for Haas. And now we are heading into, I guess you could say, the Asian round, the second part of the Asian round, which is, I don't know if Azerbaijan is considered an Asian country, but I do know that Singapore for sure is. And then after that, we're heading to the Americas for COTA, Mexico, Brazil, and Vegas before we end in the Middle East with the Qatar and Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So not many races to go. There is, what is there left? There's 8 races left. So we are getting there. and we might be looking at some good overall points. Maybe, I mean, we're not going to win the Drivers' Championship. That much is clear, and it was pretty much clear from the get-go. But I'd say overall, it's been a decent season, regardless. And it takes us very nicely into F1 26, which obviously is the series that's going to be taking over from this particular single-player career mode once we are done here. But we still have, as I said, 8 races to go. Next one is Azerbaijan for round 17. I do love it, but it is also a tricky track, mainly because of one corner, and it is the castle section. So many drivers have ended their race prematurely in that specific wall, and hopefully we're not going to be one of them. But make sure that you subscribe and turn on notifications, because that way you won't miss next time I go live. Also, if you enjoyed today's stream, make sure to give it a like, because it really shows the appreciation. And yeah, I don't think I have more to say apart from have a blessed day. And until next time, I wish you all a very good day and goodbye.